Somewhere in a remote township in rural Georgia sits an old plantation farmhouse dating back to at least the mid-1800s. At one time, this was the home of Mr. Omer Jones, who raised his family here. Neighbors say the last owner was elderly and moved to Florida to be closer to family over a decade ago. Although it has been years now since anyone has called this place home, inside it remains fully furnished. Enjoy another video as I will take you on a tour of this historical farmhouse. Welcome back everybody on a brand new video on this channel. Today I'm sitting in Georgia and I have this beautiful historical property right behind me to show to you. Now, it was once owned by a man, and because he grew elderly, he actually moved to Florida and left this beautiful property left behind because he wanted to be closer with his family. The place actually dates back, according to historical records, to the 1950s, although some historians believe this place to be even way older. Now, it appears by what's left behind and by the fact that the front has been partially painted, that the place was left behind in the midst of its renovation works. As you can see, we also have a beautiful wooden porch over here in the front. And that one was actually made by hand, and it was added later after the initial construction of this beautiful old farmhouse. Now, without further ado, we're gonna explore this beautiful historical place before it gets dark. And yeah, I really hope you enjoy another beautiful documentary of a historical property here in the United States. Let's go. Time to explore this beautiful property. And believe it or not, but over here on the side porch, the door is just unlocked and open. We noticed that urbex over here in the United States is often so much easier than in Europe. In Europe, doors are often locked. You've seen us before with telescopic ladders and stuff, because we have to climb to the top windows. And over here, the doors are just unlocked and you can just enter it. It's really insane, a different world there. Now I really like these little wooden pillars on the side. Alright, let's make our way through the roots over there. And here we are. Talking about roots, they also fully covered up the inside porch. This place is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Every now and then a car is passing by, but there is only one neighbor to this property, and there maybe only live like 10 people in this tiny town. We're in a very rural part of Georgia right now. And you're gonna see that I was not even kidding, because this door is just just open. Okay, we're gonna enter it. Of course, as always, I'm gonna wear some protection, so I'm gonna put off my mask right now. Alright, let's enter this beautiful place and be amazed. Wow. It's been a long time since anybody called this place home, yet the inside fully remained furnished. Unbelievable. Another gem, guys. Look at the beautiful curtains over there as well. I think this used to be the dining table of the place. And it was a pretty little family that used to live here one day. Although I do not think they were living here for a long time. It is a very historical property though, dating from the mid-19th century. Just a plantation plain farmhouse. We're gonna find a lot of beautiful antiques inside. Got a little cabinet over here. There's not that much left, but it still has some items. Yeah, well, those do not open that smoothly anymore. And they also do not have that much interesting items to point out. In general, there is not that much to see in this place. But it's still furnished, and the items that are left are really beautiful and of historical value. Those look like some vegetables there. Some canned vegetables living on the prairie of the United States. Where they had a little area for storage. Also some working tools over there. Hello, my name is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Alright. Curious if that was really the owner writing this down, or just a random guy that entered this place. Now, one thing you are gonna notice in this place is that we're gonna find so many rocking chairs. Just count during this video how many we will find. The counter is now at 1. Also this beautiful vanity over here. Now, I do not want to spoil too much of the next room over there. I'll firstly check out if we still got anything left down here. Just some knickknacks. Some everyday items. What's even in there? This fluffy material. Oh, look at this. It's even a shell from a bullet. Maybe one day after they left, they even left the gun left behind. Now, before going to the other side of the home, I want to point out this side. It actually features a kitchen and a bathroom. Now, the kitchen is quite messy though. We got some ant and roach killer. There are actually a lot of fire ants in this region, we noticed. So all the time while we're walking in grass and in yards, we really have to be cautious that we do not step in a big pile or nest from these fire ants. Now look down here, we got a lot of canned vegetables. This even looks like some homemade jam or something. Well, and this is their kitchen. Just a very nice little kitchen that you would expect from a simple farmhouse like this. It is really nice to see the difference though between a farmhouse in rural America and a farmhouse in rural Europe, for example in France or Belgium. Look, they even got all the cutlery over here left. I doubt if it's silverware, but you never know in those historical homes. I think if it's silverware, the owner would have taken it with him to Florida. Gonna close everything again the way I found it. So, the kitchen. You can tell people have went through the stuff over here. Definitely seems that several items are missing. But this has 100% sure remained pristine throughout all the years. All the cooking tools over here. The spatulas. These tiny laces in front of the windows. Still a few plates over there, stapled on top of each other. And then finally, the last dishes left to dry. This little pan. I don't know why this is in the sink, this clock, but it's been here for quite a while. As you can tell by all the spider webs that are covering it. Alright, quick fridge test. Well, it still has some food items left. Those look like some tiny pickles. Pepper sauce, strange. Look over here, they even wrote the date down from when they cooked it, 2008. So maybe that's one of the last dates someone lived there before this man actually departed to be closer with his family. And then finally over here we have this little bathroom. Quite messy again, they definitely stored some stuff over here. You see a lot of those pocket heaters in the abandoned houses here. A little shower over there. And finally we have an answer to the question, when did this place become abandoned? It's not in 1995, but it's actually May 2009. The last date on the calendar we could find inside this abandoned farmhouse. Just very peacefully located in the middle of the beautiful nature here in Georgia. Then it's time to go to that beautiful, elegant and adorable room I was talking about. Have a look at it. We got a wonderful York upright piano here. The Weaver Piano Company. And do you see what I see? That is number 2. That is number 3. And over here, that makes 4. 3 more rocking chairs in this room. We got a little bed over here. And this actually used to be from the last man that used to live here on his own. Because it was increasingly difficult for him to walk up the stairs, he replaced his one single bed to the downstairs. Actually, right under the bed, guys, there is a rat. It's hiding over there in the corner. But it just jumped in front of my face when I got my camera. I laid it over here on this little seat in front of the piano, and the rat literally jumped from the piano down and went underneath that little bed over there. Pretty insane. Oh wow, look over here. The entire mechanism. Piano is pretty broken. Wow. We also got a little heater over here. The wallpaper is all peeling. A little shell. This looks like another tiny toolbox. They were mostly using this one for painting. Another sign of renovation works. Also look at this little fan over here. This actually looks like a bed, we call in Euro a brancard, on which people that are injured are transported by medical help. Now have a look how beautiful nature is creeping inside the home. The natural sunlight is falling through the windows and roots are just merging inside. We also got this very comfortable sofa over here. And then a beautiful lamp hanging on the ceiling. Now let's continue our way. And I do not have to forget to point out this rocking chair over here. That already makes 5 rocking chairs in total and we're not done yet. Now from here we actually come in the main hallway. Right in front of us right now we got the main door of the property. And believe it or not, but that main door is also unlocked. Alright, you know what guys, let's close it. Now over here you have the evidence of what I told you in the introduction. These people just seem to have left in the middle of their renovation works of this property. Still got all the scaffolding standing here. All the tools they used for the renovation works. Now before making our way to the next floor, we have one other room to point out right over here. And this is a beautiful one. Have a look at this. Wow. We got 2 beautiful antique wooden beds. You can really tell the age of the structure as well by the white blank wooden ceiling. And have a look at the wonderful vanity as well. I mean, I love European antiques, but the American antiques right over here are also really beautiful. Just fine woodwork, very plain, but I love the shape of this mirror, the way it's been made. Also the old wallpaper as well. Color guides. Oh, this is so old, guys. 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝘆𝗶 step-by-step pattern. It's actually an instruction of how to cut stockings or something. I don't know, I was looking for a date or something, but these people were definitely making their clothes by themselves. These drawers are just empty. They're also covered with white mold. That's always the reason we wear gloves in these places. Alright, just close. There we go. So this newspaper is from 2007. That's surely before this home was left and the man moved to Florida. You can tell that jewelry and items are just missing. Probably it was too much effort for the old man to actually move all the furniture to his new home in Florida. That's why everything is left right now here. I really love the beds. We also got a tiny television over here. Look at the curtains, how they're just chilling over the mirror. Jikes, those are very dense network of cobwebs right over here. And finally, are you still counting, guys? 6 and 7. One other rocking chair. The other one is a normal chair. So that makes 6. It's pretty insane to think about the fact it's been left for 12 years right now and the beds are still made up. It's quite surreal. Now anyway, we've explored the entire ground floor. It's a very tiny but beautiful place nonetheless. And right now we're gonna make our way to the last rooms on the upstairs. And we have many other signs of renovation again. This was mostly for the paint work, a lot of paint. Beautiful wooden banister as well, right next to me right now. Just look the way this home has been constructed. A beautiful southern farmhouse. What I just love to see is those books are just left behind in the way when the man left originally. You can tell it starts at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, R, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. It's saying 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝘆𝗶. I don't know what that exactly means. You know what? Let's just grab one out. Capitals and principal cities of the world. It's an encyclopedia for boys and girls. So I think this was mostly an encyclopedia for Yav and children. Wow. Very vintage book. I really like it. What year is it from? Volume 2, Britannica Junior. Alright, Britannica. Well, we have the R of Britannica. That means that only one book is missing in the front. So it is almost pristine. Over here we can see the roof of the front porch. And just look at the outside and its surroundings. It's so peaceful here. We got some other signs of renovation right over here. The wooden planks. I don't know why, but there are even some old iron bed frames over here in the corner. That little hole over there would have led to a little attic part right underneath the roof. So, right over here we had one of the other bedrooms where the people once slept that lived there. When the man was not a widower, still had this woman, and probably also a child that was living here. The curtains have been quite digested by moths that have eaten them and other insects. Pretty old school and old-fashioned bed with an old bed frame. We got rocking chair number 7 over here. Also still the sofa standing over here. But that's far it for the room. This is really cool to see though. Oh wow. This is actually cloth wall covering. That's very old. And I've only seen it a couple of times. Right behind it you can still see the original wooden walls. Then they had the cloth wall covering and then they covered it up with wallpaper. Very beautiful. It's strange that they sealed this up over here, but other parts have not been sealed up. So I think nobody has come here anymore for a long time. I don't even know if the man is still alive, to be honest. He left in 2009 and was already of old age. He could have passed by now, but I don't know. I do remain curious about it though. Now this is the final room. We got 2 other beautiful antique beds. I think out of the places we've seen so far, the old residences on this trip, this is the most historical property so far. You can also tell by the beautiful antique furniture inside. Mr. Vernon. VA, it's saying over there, the little flag. And over there it's saying Washington DC, the capital. Maybe that was the place where the man was originally born. I don't know, because most of his family members are living in Florida. Wow. This is by far the most beautiful vanity I've seen so far in the United States. What a beautiful piece. I love it. This once used to be the frame to hold a picture, but sadly enough the picture is gone. And the picture's over here too. Well, I do say sadly enough, but if the man took it with him to Florida, I'm actually happy he did and saved the memory. Instead of just leave it to waste and leave it forgotten inside his old home. Luckily there was no rat jumping out of this chest. I've seen so many rat droppings in abandoned buildings, but it was actually the first time I saw a real rat in an abandoned building, believe it or not. Many people probably think we often encounter rats, but that's actually not the case. It's pretty rare to see them. Most of the times they're hiding for you. We do see a lot of spiders though. But anyway, I think that's enough talk. And we explored this gorgeous little abandoned farmhouse here in Georgia. And I have to say that I really enjoyed this place. Even though it was little, I will definitely not forget this place because it was so historic, and that's beautiful to see in the USA. So I'm gonna put my camera right here for a while. Let's see if it wants to stand. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna have a seat on the chair. I'm gonna put my mask off. And yeah, with that having shown, I want to end another exploration in the United States here. After this explorer, we still have one other place to show you in Georgia before we move on to the next state. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this exploration in this old farmhouse together with me. It's sad that they left midst renovation, never finished the place, and there was no life anymore in the place. I mean, right next door there is actually another abandoned property. I will quickly show it to you from the window over here, because we can actually see it. And this is a big mansion. Look over there. The roof actually emerges in the sky there, right behind the trees. Now, sadly enough, this mansion is actually empty. That's the reason why we didn't film it. But it is a beautiful mansion from the exterior. Now, if you enjoyed this journey back in time together with me here in Georgia, do not forget to leave a thumbs up and support the channel. Also, feel free to subscribe down below. It is for free, so yeah. Also, I would love to hear from your opinion and any feedback in the comment section. And yeah, there is also a little link in the description to our Patreon and our PayPal. Feel free to check it out if you would want to support us. Yeah, with that having shown, I want to close another exploration right here. And yeah, we will see you on the next adventure in the United States. Peace out.